Welcome back, everybody, to the final Logan Blackman Show preview of the United States men's national team in this 2019 Gold Cup. Man, what a tournament it's been. What a tournament it's been. We have gone through games against Trinidad and Tobago, Guyana, Panama, Curacao, Jamaica, and now it's the big one. Revenge Tour 2019 had to get capped off with a game against the United States' biggest rivals, Mexico. Revenge of the 2011 Gold Cup. United States was up 2-0 in that game. Mexico came back 1-4-2 in the Rose Bowl. I was at the Iowa Speedway with my dad. I don't remember what race it was, but we were following it on my phone. I remember Freddie Adu was there. I think he played a part in both goals. He took the corner on one of them, and then I think he had something to do with the build-up play going into the second one. So it's just great. Freddie Adu. I feel kind of sorry for that guy. Tabbed as the next Pele at 14 years old. When I was 14 years old, I cannot remember what I was doing at 14 years old. I don't even remember what grade I was in. I'm not going to spend time remembering all of that stuff. But yeah, Revenge Tour 2019 capping off with a game against Mexico in Chicago, Illinois at Soldier Field more specifically. And yeah, it should be a very, very fun game. How did we get to this position? Now the U.S. coming off wins in the group stage, not allowing a single goal in group stage, scoring 10 goals to 0. 11 goals to 0 goals in the group stage. Scoring 6 against Trinidad and Tobago. 4 against Guyana. I don't know why I keep saying Trinidad and Tobago for 4. Guyana. And then they scored 1 against Panama with a purely backup team in that game. Goal from Josie Altidore in that one. Now, the United States comes in this one. They come off a 1-0 win against Curacao. Struggled a little bit in that game. Looked like they struggled to get going. I mean, not to get going. After they scored the first goal, then it looked like they started slowing down a little bit. Curacao started playing in the game. It looked a lot better in the game. It was nerve-wracking watching that game. And then capping it off to reach the final by beating Jamaica 3-1. Goals from Weston McKennie and 2 from Christian Pulisic. Great stuff there. Goal from Jamaica. I can't remember who scored in that one. He was annoying me the entire game. Was Nicholson or something like that? He was annoying me the entire game. I'm pretty sure that was who it was. But yeah, 3-1 victory for the United States men's national team. Close call there after Jamaica scored. It was 2-1. Pulisic put it away in the 81st minute. Beautiful run. Beautiful build-up play solo run by Christian Pulisic. Playing the ball across the box. Paul Arriola took a shot parried by Andre Blake right into the path of Christian Pulisic. The second goal of the game came from a Jordan Morris shot deflected off by Andre Blake. Again, like the third goal, deflected right in the path of Pulisic. Placed it right back home. And the first goal, nice build-up play. Bradley, ball over top to Reggie Cannon. Cannon plays across the box, finds Altidore. McKennie, I'm assuming, yelled, "Leave it! Leave it!" McKennie slotted it back home. Beautiful play there by the United States. And Nicholson scoring in the game as well for Jamaica. Yeah, I thought it was a lot better performance in that game than it was against Curacao. Jamaica, a much better team. They're starting to build a nice little rivalry with Jamaica. Losing in the Gold Cup semis a few years ago, winning the Gold Cup against Jamaica, the last Gold Cup, playing them this year, losing 1-0, and then beating Jamaica in this year's Gold Cup 3-1. So it's starting to be a nice little rivalry here with the United States and Jamaica. We're going to go off the United States men's national team for a little bit. We're going to go into the women's national team. The women's national team, we talked about this the other day, has advanced to the Women's World Cup in France. That game takes place on Sunday, tomorrow, same day as the United States game, men's national team game. And I believe 10 o'clock, and you can catch that on Fox or FS1, I can't remember, really, but that's going to be an early game as well. Sadly, my prediction was wrong. Sweden lost to the Netherlands in the semifinals. Disappointing performance. Sweden did end up coming third in the Women's World Cup, beating England 2-1 earlier today. But just sad to see not playing Sweden. Now, the big story going into this game is whether Megan Rapinoe should be able to play. Her hamstring injury was something that they said takes about a week to recover from, so I think she will be able to play this game. They're going to need her to play this game. The best player throughout the tournament for the U.S. women's national team. They're going to need her in this game. She'll probably wear the armband in the game if she does play. They've had a little rotating captaincy, kind of like the men's national team, but this one with 3 specific players, Alex Morgan, Megan Rapinoe, and Carly Lloyd, all very experienced national team players for the U.S., leading them to a very strong finish in the World Cup, hopefully capping off with their second straight Women's World Cup, 4th Women's World Cup all time. So we'll have to wait and see for that one. But that should be a very exciting game. The Netherlands has a couple really good players on their team as well. Can't remember their names. I know they got a really young striker who plays for Arsenal. I know that much. But other than that, I could not tell you a lot about the Dutch national team. Not really good in-depth preview here by me for the Women's World Cup. But I am expecting the women's national team to get in and win in this game. Again, they beat England the other day. Now, the last women's game that they played, they beat England. We talked about this a little bit in the last video we did, so I'm not going to go too in-depth about the last game against England. But yeah, this should be a very fun game to watch. Expecting the U.S. to come out 2-0 victors in this game against the Netherlands, maybe 2-1. I'm not very creative with this predictions thing. A 2-1 United States women's national team coming out on top, winning their 4th Women's World Cup, 2nd in a row. We'll just have to wait and see how that one goes. Again, early game tomorrow, 10 a.m. tomorrow morning, so make sure you're tuning in on Fox or FS1. Back to the men's team. Now, they're playing Mexico in the Gold Cup final this time. Remember, rematch of the 2011 final. Mexico won 4-2. Freddie Adu was in that game. Love bringing that up, that Freddie Adu was in that game. And they're going to want to rebound from that. The last time they played Mexico in a really big competition was in the CONCACAF Cup. Or was that what it was called? The CONCACAF Champions Cup or something like that in the Rose Bowl a couple years ago to get to the Confederations Cup. Mexico won an extra time in that game. Very disappointing result for the United States. I watched that with my dad and my nana and papa's house, but that was when Brad Guzan was starting in goal for the U.S. after Tim Howard took his little sabbatical thing. That was a disappointing result there. U.S. and Mexico, obviously huge rivals, 2 biggest teams, unquestioned biggest teams in the Gold Cup. Mexico has won, I believe, 6 titles to the U.S.'s 5 titles.
You're not just wrong, you're stupid. Now wait just a minute. And you're ugly, just like your mum.
And Canada's the only one that's ever, the only other country in CONCACAF that's won a Gold Cup other than those 2 countries. So it's going to be a really emotional game. There's going to be a lot of fans from both sides there. It should be a very exciting game. Mexico, how did they get to this position? They won their group, beating the likes of Canada, Martinique, and Cuba. Easy games. Beating Cuba 7-0, beating Canada 3-1, beating Martinique 3-2. Pretty simple games there. Didn't really have a lot of competition in their group other than that last game against Martinique. But in the first round of the knockout phases, they beat Costa Rica, who a lot of people could have considered that another great team in CONCACAF, a very good team in CONCACAF, winning that game on penalties, saved from Guillermo Ochoa in that game, won in the penalty shootout. And then they moved on to the next round, beat Haiti on a controversial penalty from Raul Jimenez, not Orbi Peralta, I know that. Yeah, that led them to this game against the United States in Chicago, Illinois. Should be a very, very fun game in this one. But we're going to go right in to the starting lineups tonight, or not for tonight, for tomorrow's game against Mexico. I believe the game takes place at 7 p.m. on FS1 or at Fox Sports. I can't remember. I'm so useless. I can't remember what times for anything. But starting lineups for this game, we're going to say the same system, 4-3-3 for this game. Well, that was cool, I guess you could say. Not really. I'm so sorry. But yeah, 4-3-3 in this game for the United States versus Mexico. The United States have kept the exact same system throughout the entire tournament. Very easy to predict the system. That's Greg Berhalter's preferred system. He's used that in friendlies. He's used that obviously throughout the entire Gold Cup. 4-3-3, Zach Steffen in goal. We have said this throughout the time. He is the United States' best goalkeeper. Hasn't really faced a lot of shots. Allowed the first goal of the tournament against Jamaica. U.S. went 0 goals allowed the entire tournament. It's very impressive, very solid defense. I mean, not solid at times, kind of lucky at times, but shaky at times with the defense. But Zach Steffen hasn't done anything to lose that number 1 spot, and he will remain the number 1 goalkeeper for the United States men's national team in this game against Mexico. The back 4, now we're going to have one change in this back 4. Now, usually throughout the tournament, other than the last game, we saw the likes of Nick Lima, Walker Zimmerman, Aaron Long, and Tim Ream. That was the back 4, unchanged except for the game against Panama where they played the second team. Now, in the game against Jamaica, they switched it up a little bit. They sat Walker Zimmerman, and they wanted to give him a rest against Jamaica, so they pulled in, put Matt Miazga in, and they pulled Nick Lima and put Reggie Cannon in. Reggie Cannon played well against Jamaica, running well down that right back spot from the United States men's national team in the game against Jamaica, helping set up a goal, the first goal of the game for the United States with Weston McKennie's goal against Jamaica. And I expect him to keep that starting right back spot for the United States men's national team against Mexico. Now I expect Walker Zimmerman to come back into the starting lineup for this game as well, partnering Aaron Long at the center back spot. We've said this numerous times. Aaron Long, is who I believe is Gray Beerhalter's favorite center back. And at left back, we have Tim Ream. Now, maybe they want to keep the same thing. Maybe they want to keep Matt Miazga at that center back spot to partner Aaron Long. Maybe they keep the exact same back line as the game against Jamaica, or they revert back to their old back line with Nick Lima and Walker Zimmerman coming back in. But a recap, Cannon on the right, Zimmerman and Long in the middle, Tim Ream on the left. The midfield three, unchanged. I don't really need to explain this that often. They've been the best players of the tournament so far, but Weston McKennie and Christian Pulisic. Pulisic's the best player. McKennie has done really well getting 2 goals in knockout stages for the United States. And Bradley kind of stringing passes along, coming up from the holding spot in midfield. So that midfield three of Bradley, McKennie, Pulisic, unchanged. Not even need to think about that one at all. And for the front three, now this one's a little interesting one. Paul Arriola is not losing his spot. Unchallenged at that left wing spot. No one's taking that spot from Paul Arriola. The right wing's the interesting one. Now Jordan Morris, prior to his shot that got parried by Andre Blake and put in the path of Christian Pulisic, he wasn't a factor the entire game pretty much until that shot got replaced by Christian Roldan later in the game, but he wasn't a factor at all in the game. And we'll have to wait and see how that goes, but maybe they put Tyler Boyd back into the starting lineup for this game. Maybe you see Tyler Boyd come into the game. Has started every game with that first team, I guess you could say, and until the last game when Jordan Morris came into the game for him. Now we said Jordan Morris would start the last game. That's an up in the air spot. That's one, the right wing spot, this entire tournament has been one where I have been like, I don't really know what to think about this spot. This is like the one spot where I'm not really 100% sure who should start. So I'm going to go back with Boyd at the right wing spot. Maybe keep Morris in there. Him and Cannon have played twice together on that right wing. So maybe they're building up a little chemistry, running with Cannon overlapping Morris more on that right wing spot. But I'm not really sure, so it's going to be either one. The right wing spot's been the hardest one to predict the entire tournament. We'll just have to wait and see on that one. And the striker, I don't really need to think about this one. I think it's Josie Altidore. They pulled him in the game against Jamaica to give him rest. It looks like to give him rest for the game against Mexico. Josie Altidore coming in, best striker the U.S. has, and I think he's come back into the starting line for this game. So just a recap of the lineup. We got Zach Steffen in goal. Reggie Cannon replacing Nick Lima. I mean, not really replacing, keeping his right back spot from the Jamaica game. Walker Zimmerman, Aaron Long at the center back spots with Tim Ream on the left. Midfield three, Bradley, McKennie, Pulisic. And the front three, Ariel on the left. Let's go back with Boyd on the right, Tyler Boyd on the right, and Josie Altidore up top. That should be a very fun game tonight. U.S. and Mexico games are always fun to watch. There's not really a dull time watching these games. They're always really entertaining. Their fan support for each side is insane. It's a great game to watch. I love watching the game. I'm going to be watching it. It's going to be an awesome game. Same with the Women's World Cup. Make sure you watch that game as well. That game's in the morning, U.S. game's at night. So make sure to tune into both of those games, both games on the Fox Sporting Network, either on Fox or FS1 for both of those games. And yeah, should be a very, very fun day of soccer tomorrow. Hopefully this video gets uploaded in time. It should be. I'm recording it a day before. If it doesn't, that's something on me. But yeah, make sure you tune into both games. I thank everyone for watching these, and I will see you guys later. Peace.